Flesh, no.
Right. So when God gives up his attributes of knowledge and keeps it locked, is he still knowledgeable?
Yes, no. When God gives that up, he has given up that aspect of omniscience.
Right. So at that point, when he has given up his knowledge and locked it somewhere inaccessible, that means he has no longer knowledge,
but he has
access to knowledge.
One moment. Adam had before the fall.
Slow down, please. Let's talk about the attribute of love and knowledge.
Yes.
So God gives up, according to you, in your language, say he gives up in a box and he locks it with a key, right? So now his knowledge is locked up in that box. Is he still knowledgeable?
About what?
Anything.
Everything.
Anything. Because remember, his knowledge is now locked away. Is he still knowledgeable?
But where is he now when he's locked it up? Where is he?
You are the ones.
Yeah, no.
Sister, please.
You're refusing to say.
Okay, let me tell you.
Take it the next step. He has given
let
it
me
up
take you.
and taken flesh.
God the Father.
Tell me.
God the Father.
Tell me he has given it up and taken flesh.
I'm telling
you. Leave him hanging in limbo.
I'm telling you.
And taken flesh.
I'm telling you.
So ask me, as flesh.
The Father.
He didn't stand in limbo.
The Father.
Yes.
Is in heaven, right?
The Father is in heaven.
Good. You believe he can separate his attributes from him and give it up. That's what you believe. Imagine now in heaven, for the sake of argument, he gives up his attributes of knowledge, locks up with a key. Now, still in heaven. He's in heaven. His knowledge is locked up in a box. Is he still knowledgeable about anything?
Can I
Denise, in heaven, still in heaven.
I could answer that way.
You have your chance, don't worry.
So, there's a purpose for giving up.
Excuse me.
It's not for fun.
So,
it's not for fun that he's giving up.
No, please.
He's giving
when
up.
he gives up, is he still knowledgeable?
It's because I'm going to put something on. Okay? So I have given it up for a purpose. And I put on flesh. So talk to me. He's not in heaven.
I am not discussing the purpose.
No,
I am saying
it has a purpose.
Of course, God doesn't do anything without a purpose. Good. That's a given thing.
Yes.
So now, when God, in your belief, locks up his knowledge in a box, is he still knowledgeable about anything?
But he takes on a human form.
One moment.
No, you can't say 1 moment.
I want to.
Refuse to go there.
Okay. Is he still knowledgeable when he locks up his knowledge?
When in the form of the flesh, no.
Not flesh. And who's talking about flesh?
Because that's what he took on.
No.
That's what he took on.
I'm not talking about the Son,
no.
Denise.
But that's who we're talking about.
Do you know the mistake you're making? Do you know the mistake you're making? No. Do you know the mistake you're making?
He said to God,
I am not talking about the Son now.
Consider it robbery to give up.
Denise.
No, you cannot do
I am saying,
you cannot do
I am saying, in your belief, if the Father locked up his knowledge in heaven and he remained in heaven, is the Father still knowledgeable?
He didn't remain in heaven though. So I can't answer that because he didn't remain in heaven.
Who am I talking about?
No, he didn't remain in heaven.
Okay, who am I talking about? Excuse me, who am I talking about?
You're talking about Jesus.
No, I'm not. So let me clarify again to you.
God the Father.
I am talking about God the Father in your belief.
Okay.
If he's able to somehow separate himself from his attribute, so I take the attribute of knowledge and I'll take the attribute of love. He locks his attributes of knowledge in a box with a key and he has no access to the key, right? Is he still knowledgeable? His knowledge is locked in a key in heaven and he is in heaven. So is he still knowledgeable? Excuse me. You said.
No, I said.
You said God is able to
Jesus.
Separate himself from his attributes. Did you not say that?
Jesus.
No. Jesus is God.
I said Jesus.
Excuse me.
And I said 3 in 1. And I said Jesus because he said.
Do you think you can answer that question?
Philippians.
Let me
I'm sorry.
Let's see if you can answer that.
Okay, so the point is you have to think the knowledge of God and the power of God.
I'm talking about knowledge only.
Yes, but he's gonna be similar. As I said, there's something about logical contradiction when you talk about the knowledge of God and the power of God. Okay, so God, in fact, as I explained when we started, Jesus is the manifestation of God in the finite. Okay, so that's why we said he limited himself in the finite. Okay, and I explained to you why, based on the time, why Jesus could not know the time, because it would be a logical contradiction. So saying that God's knowledge is stopped to exist, no, his knowledge is always there. It's a question of logical contradiction. For example, there is I'm sure you know that some people can say, can God create a stone so heavy that it cannot lift?
It's not a question.
What is it?
It's a nonsensical statement.
Exactly.
So I asked you a question. I didn't ask you a nonsensical statement. That's the difference. So answer my question,
Now,
please.
the point is, can God know, since we're talking about knowledge, can God know how it feels to be the devil?
I didn't ask you that question. Answer my question first.
You know why you cannot answer that? Because
I'm not entertaining your listen.
contradiction.
Again and again. Instead of
logical.
Okay. Let me answer this so-called question you asked. Can God? Ask me again. Can God feel how it feels to be Satan? Sure. So Satan has some kind of feeling, right? How is it? Right. So God, are you saying in his knowledge, he doesn't know how it feels to be Satan?
No, I'm asking you a question and you bring me back.
That's what you're asking, right?
Answer my question.
Can God know? So when you say know or feel, which one?
Can God know how it feels to be Satan?
Right. So if God is the creator of all feelings, then yes, of course he knows.
How can he know how it feels to be Satan?
Because he created Satan's and he knows how Satan. Listen, because he created Satan, he knows all the feelings because he's the creator of all feelings. So how Satan goes about in his feelings, he's aware of it.
So God has already been Satan to feel that.
No.
That's what you're telling
Listen,
me.
what I'm saying is this. God doesn't have to become an elephant to know how elephants feel. God has created feelings, all feelings, and he was aware of all of them. So whether how Satan feels or human beings feel.
Can it be Satan? Can God be Satan?
Oh, different question. Now, can God be Satan, right? What is Satan? A creation. So now you're asking a totally nonsensical question.
Can become nonsensical?
Let me ask you. Can God become non-God? The answer is.
So how can he feel? How can you know how to feel? How it feels to be Satan?
Wait.
Don't be finished.
Wait a minute. What's your name? What's your name? Raphael.
How can you know how it feels to be Satan?
I just told you.
He has never been Satan.
I just told you. Okay. Let me make it simple. Does God know how it feels to be human without becoming human?
In Jesus Christ, yes.
Okay. Can God know how it? In your belief, does God know how it feels to be a woman without becoming a woman?
Now listen.
No. I'm not going to listen to anything else.
You have to listen how I answer
Raphael.
I already
does in your belief, does God know how it feels to be a woman?
Are you going to let me answer?
Yes.
Are you going to let me answer?
Yeah.
Okay. When God created things, he relinquished some of his power. He relinquished it by creating us. Let's say the question that he asked, by creating us.
You're answering my question, right?
I'm answering your question, so you have to listen carefully.
Okay.
By creating us, he relinquished some of his power. Right now, God said, Satan is doing that. I can no longer do that because I am not Satan. So that's how God is relinquishing some of his power by creation. So he relinquished, and that's what Philippians is saying. Okay? So God, it's like you telling me, can God knows how to feel to be Satan or to cease to exist? These are questions that become illogical based on what God created as his universe is no longer possible. So that's why I told you, God cannot know how it feels to be Satan unless he decides to be Satan. So that's how you answer that question, because it is not a logical question. It is an illogical question. You understand what I mean? So
enough introduction, now answer the question.
Yeah, I already answered your question.
There are certain times I leave the discussion with individuals who are really using just semantics. I asked you, which question did I ask? That you answered now, within 2 minutes or so?
You are supposed to answer my question.
No. The question that I asked that you are answering, what was the question that you answered? Raphael, what was it? He's already given you a reminder. What was the question that I asked that you answered?
Okay, can you repeat your question?
Have you forgotten the question already?
In fact, it's a question of God knowledge. Okay, and what I was telling you is that God knowledge, in terms of Jesus Christ, in terms of a human being, in terms of the manifested things, God knowledge is limited because he has to be that manifested being. Okay.
One moment, brother. Raphael, the question I asked you was this. In your belief, does God know how it feels to be a woman?
God doesn't know how to feel. It has to be a woman.
Okay, so only God knows how it feels. So basically, how the woman feels going through childbirth, pregnancy.
Okay.
Well, let me finish.
Okay, finish.
Let me finish.
I know what you're talking about. Finish first.
So all the sufferings that woman goes through, rape, for example, the torture they're suffering through, in your belief, God doesn't know the feeling that the woman's going through, because